Good morning, y'all. I am at Boar Glamping. I don't like the term glamping, but technically we're not really camping, we're just glamping. It is 9:45 a.m. We just woke up. I'm here with some friends, and this is the first time I've ever slept outside in Vietnam. It's such a bizarre feeling because everything I see around me are very familiar. The bamboos and the river and the pond, everything feels so much more familiar than when I went abroad to go camping or sleeping outdoors. Today, I really want to talk about how much I love people. I love people a lot. I am just so pro making amazing connections and doing amazing things with people and giving a lot of love to other people. Maybe it comes from me being a Libra because I love with my full heart and I don't want to stop myself from loving so hard. A lot of people nowadays block their heart intentionally just so they don't break their heart or they don't face disappointment. But to me, it's kind of like blocking yourself from feeling the magic of love. I think nowadays people detach too easily to the point that it just feels like you're just moving through life without a sense of connection to people, to other things around you. So a lot of times you get sucked into this mindset of there's only one person that exists in the world and that's you. But to me, you are just one in a gazillion things in the world. You not only have other human beings, you also have other animals, other living beings, trees, rocks, river, ponds, and so many other things in the world. For you to feel the connection, for you to live among others, for you to be part of an amazing ecosystem, one that is supportive of one another. And I think that's all about healthy attachment. That's all about your sense of understanding towards the world. And if you get that wrong, a lot of times you have really toxic relationship with not only other people, but also with yourself. I was thinking yesterday, me and my really good friend, Sarah Lee, we were talking about how we're two different human beings, you know? For me, I move through life like an arrow. I really know what I like and what I don't like, and I just keep following my arrow because it's not that I know where I'm going. I just like the fact that I know that I want to go to this location right here. But for her, she cares more about the journey. She cares more about meeting the people on the way, feeling very curious about how they live their life, and be able to exchange information in a way that is constructive about how she can expand her worldview. And to me, that's like such a great dance. You know, we can dance together. You know, we can have fun together. And when I'm going this way, she also helps me slow down a little bit by like dancing around me. So we both dance together, but I'm still going this direction, and she is still fulfilling her purpose of wanting to know more about other people. And I think that's a dynamic, that's a part of the ecosystem that works. When you have people in your life that necessarily adds to the story arc. If you look at anime or if you look at stories, films, for example, it's very rare to have characters that are identical to each other, have the same characteristics or the same background, etc., because it ultimately doesn't add to anything. It doesn't add to the storyline. It doesn't add to the arc. So that's why I really move in life understanding that like whoever that I meet, there will always be one out of 100 people I meet that eventually realize that we are very compatible as human beings. We are compatible, we understand each other. A lot of times, even though I'm annoyed at my friend for thinking this way, I still give them space. I still give them space after all, because we're all human beings. You know, we have our own thoughts, and all these thoughts should be respected. We should let people have the autonomy to think whatever they think. So whenever we have a disagreement, I would always just give space for my friend to like finish whatever they want to say, and they'll give me space to speak my mind about what I want to say, and then we just establish that we agree to disagree, and that's totally fine. And I think that's the soft spot that human beings should be able to have in their lives. Back to the whole point about how much I love people. I love people so much that when I'm going straight in the arrow like this to the destination that I want other people to join me. I want other people to feel equally excited about this whole journey as I am. So I try to like invite other people. I try to be like, hey, like join the party. I'm doing this, feel free to join. I would love to have you. I would love to have you as part of the experience, as a part of the memories. That's why I ultimately don't believe in, detachment or whatever that Gen Z nowadays term, because ultimately it's just a coping mechanism. It's not healthy. And nowadays we normalize so many unhealthy stuff, such as substance, drugs, alcohol. We also normalize an unhealthy habit such as sleeping late or gossiping everything to your friends. And we also normalize unhealthy eating habits, the things that you consume in your body, the fast food and the excess in sugar, everything around us. It's so tempting for you to just fall into that very unhealthy lifestyle. And it's the same with connection as well. Once you kind of put so many unhealthy things in your body, it also encourages people to follow that unhealthy emotional attachment. And I'm a big person on healthy living. And I want to live as healthily as possible. I want to live fully feeling myself as much as possible so I can give love to the world and also really receive love from the world. I want to have a trusting relationship with the world around me. That I can trust this bamboo right here. That I can trust this mountain right here. I can trust this cloud right here. Because we all are in an ecosystem with each other. We have nothing against each other. We love each other. I appreciate you, bamboo. I appreciate you a lot. I am not scared of love. I'm not scared to love at all. And I just encourage everyone to love as well. Just love with your full heart. And don't put any rules on loving one another. We are navigating the world right now with different definitions of love. Friendship love, family love, romantic love. But within romantic love, there's casual stuff. There's polyamory, there is situationship, there's committed romantic relationship, open relationship, and to some extent, I get dizzy. I get super dizzy because of these definitions, because mainly I am just a person that wants to love other people, and eventually if you see that I'm doing this going here and you want to join me, oh my god, please join me. And whatever connection that we have, it is what it is. We don't have to eventually put a label on it, but if you are committed to being in the world with me in some very specific way, there is a sense of commitment. And for me, I think that I value that commitment a lot, because we're so autonomous as human beings. Feeling committed to another person and wanting to be there for another person in highs or lows, I think that speaks a lot about a virtue of a person. So that's why I've always been a person of commitment. If I commit myself to doing something, I will do it because I want to do it, first of all. And second of all, there's other people that are believing in my vision. And if I don't do it, it'll also make other people think that oh my god, it's impossible to do certain things. But it's not impossible. It's all about just understanding what brings you joy and understanding the movement, what kind of movement you want to be part in. And just join, just start swimming, just start cycling, just start running. And eventually you'll get to where you want to be. But it's all about just starting and feeling validated about the fact that you actually want to go there. Nowadays, I feel most people are trapped in a hamster wheel of society, making more money, getting more status, and also getting more fame. But I think ultimately I get really exhausted after, because I realized that I would get envious of other people for the things that I don't want to do, that, okay, sure, you have all these and that, but do I need all these and that to be happy and fulfilled? I don't think so. I'd rather spend my money on this, on traveling the world and talking to so many kinds of people in the world, doing adventures, rather than saving up for 20 years after a 9-to-5 to buy a house. So it's all about perspective shifts for me. And as long as I'm content with wanting to go towards my direction and content with the people that brings along with the journey, then I think that's all that matters. And once I reach there, I'll be whoa, okay, this is amazing. I can see the view around me. There's so much to discover. That's all that matters. That's literally all that matters. And I think being in nature teaches me a lot about that as well, about how you don't need a concrete house. You don't need like luxurious buffet. All you need is just a tent for you to sleep in, and some food, and some nice food, not too fancy. And then, the ability to just look at nature and appreciate nature and just feel at peace with the world and at peace with yourself. Because there's so many positive things about the world, but right now with social media, we're all seeing things in a very like pessimistic way, and of course like not to a good degree of things. And a lot of times it warps our thinking around the fact that like we're going down as a society, but I don't think so. I think what I want to do is just to focus on where I want to go and be able to feel fulfilled, and also along the way feel empathetic for other people, for their journey, especially that where it's a lot of suffering that comes with their journey. But ultimately, all I can do as a human being is just to keep moving. It's just to follow the movement that I want to go. For example, now, like, I'm doing such untraditional things, such as like making a documentary about coming out, and following my passion with media and music making, and doing all these kinds of adventures, traveling the world. And whenever my parents friends ask, what do I do? Like, they can't just say, oh, she works a 9 to 5 at a bank. But like, I just don't like the fact that I have to explain about my movement. I don't like to having to explain it and then wait and then sit in that very uncomfortable space to see how other people think about my movement. Because ultimately, at the end of the day, whatever they think doesn't really affect how I move, and whether I choose my movement or not. It would be amazing if they can help me add something to my movement, but ultimately, at the end of the day, I don't think they care. A lot of times when people ask that, they just want to see what you do so they feel better about themselves. And a lot of times I feel curious about what other people are doing, only if I think what they're doing is like super cool. But if you're just doing whatever you want to do and if you feel happy about it, then yeah, like, you just live your life. And I appreciate you being here, man. I appreciate you for living. I appreciate you for existing. And I appreciate that we're in the same space right now to have a awesome conversation about just living, just existing. And that's why stories really matter, I asked my friends yesterday about what was the craziest thing you've ever done, and I get to know parts about them that I've never got to know before, and got to understand them a little bit more as human beings. And I think that's such a beautiful thing, and that's why I just love storytelling so much. I love sharing the things that I learn. I love sharing the things about me so I can connect with more people. I just love human beings. I love sharing my life. I love connecting with other people. This podcast episode is all about joining the movement, loving people, and be okay with whatever you're doing, because you're doing the good thing. You're doing what fulfills you, and you shouldn't let anyone else determine what is good and what is bad for you, because you're a full human being. You have autonomy of what you're doing. And man, just be yourself. When you're yourself, that's diversity. And if nature don't have diversity, it's not good. Like, it's never good to not have diversity. So you should just be yourself. Stop chasing whatever that society tells you to chase, and just be content with who you are as a person and appreciate who you are as a person. I think from that way, we all would feel more positive. We all would feel so much happier with our lives and so much more content. And you can share that love to everyone else as well, especially those who are struggling right now with their lives. Thank you so much for watching. I appreciate you so much. I hope that you're having an amazing time right now. Hug a tree today. Hug a tree today. Yeah. Okay. Bye.